that type of thing. Like we said yesterday, someone asked me about this. Doing this for your benefit, people, to help you pass the safety module is what I'm doing. So this is your opportunity to get this done. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go here. And where did we leave off yesterday? We left off at caught between, correct?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. All right, so I think it's about page 130. All right, we did that yesterday.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa thinks I'm asking her to sing. Sorry, Alexa. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to go here. I guess I got to reduce this a minute so I can get up here. What the heck's going on here? All right, there we go. I think that works. All right, you can see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so caught between. Okay, we talked about struck by. We talked about falls. Now we're talking about caught between. And oh, by the way, I sent you some more pages today. So go to Classroom, and you will find pages to add to your book if you do not have a book at home. Sam, you got a book at home?
No.
Malachi, you got a book at home?
No.
And Megan, you don't either, right? I'm pretty sure you don't. So that's okay. That's why I'm sending you pages every day. So I think I sent you up to page 49 or 50 or something like that. So you can get the pages, follow along, read what you have to read to stay up with this. Okay. Again, I'm just covering this, giving you the opportunity to ask questions. So you got to do a little bit of research on your own to do this. Okay. So caught between congested work sites, heavy equipment. Okay. Multiple trades. Does everybody know what the word multiple trades means? What does multiple trades means? That means that we got different. Good.
Where is it at on the page?
Right here. Right where we started at 9.0.
Multiple trades, like more than like not just carpentry, like.
Okay, like we might have plumbers and electricians and carpenters and masoners and all kinds of guys working in the same area. So that causes things to be a little congested. Then we bring in a crane or a dump truck, that even makes it more congested. Okay, so we want to make sure that we don't get into situations where we could be caught. Okay. The one thing this book wants to cover is trenches and excavations. Right? We all know what a trench or an excavation is by now, correct?
Yes.
That is a hole in the ground, all right?
Yes.
So in many construction jobs, you need to work in and around trenches, all right? Therefore, you want to make sure that you follow the procedures that are posted or put into place while you're working in that area, okay? And it gives you a definition. An excavation is a man-made cut cavity, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to sit here and read the whole thing, but again, these things might pop up in the test, so you want to make sure that you have an idea of what's happening here, okay? And if you're in a trench, so these are some of the things that could happen, okay, when you're in a trench, okay? A cave-in, that's a no-brainer, okay? If the trench wasn't insured properly, or if you don't have a trench box in place, obviously you could have a cave-in, which isn't a good thing. All right. Imagine being down on the beach and someone digs a hole and you get into the hole and then they bury you up with sand. What happens? You find it hard to move in that area because you're all blocked in with the sand. Well, it would be the same thing if you're in a cave-in and all the dirt starts coming in on you. You're going to have that kind of an issue. All right. So you don't want to get involved with anything like that. Okay, water accumulation. Well, if you're in a trench, okay, just like the beach, if you dig a hole in the beach, what happens at some point? Water starts coming up through the ground, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because the beach is water, technically. So same thing can happen in an excavation, a trench. When you're digging the hole, there could be water. There could be a small creek that runs underneath. You don't know. So you need to keep tabs of this. Falling objects. Well, once again, if you're in a trench, there's guys working above. There's stone and rock along the walls. This stuff can be kicked free and can fall on you. So what would we recommend to wear when we're in a trench? Obviously, a hard hat or a bunk cap. So that's not an issue. Okay, collapse of nearby structures. Well, the way they put this is the fact that if you're digging a trench, the question is how close to a building is the trench? Right? Is it good? What is it?
I said 10 feet.
Well, do we know that? We don't know that, Sam. Okay, the trench is being built because we're running new lines, or let's say this. Let's say we're these houses were built a long time ago, and now FiOS is bringing FiOS into the area, so they got to dig a trench along so they can lay their FiOS cable in. Correct?
Yeah.
So the buildings that are already there, they are putting weight on the ground because they've been there for a long time and there's a lot of pressure in the ground because of these buildings. So when we do start to build a trench, okay, do we want to be far enough away from existing buildings so the weight bearing of the building does not cause the trench to collapse? So that's something you need to keep in mind. And here's a warning here. 2 to 3 feet of soil can put enough pressure on your lungs to prevent you from breathing. Well, duh. Do we want to die because we got buried in the sand or the dirt? I don't think I want to. So things to keep in mind here, okay? Cave-ins, deadly hazards, all right? When dirt is removed from an excavation, the surrounding soil becomes unstable. And gravity, does everybody understand what gravity is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're digging a hole, the dirt only has one way to go, doesn't it? And that's down.
Yeah.
Okay, so the gravity could cause a slide, a rock slide. I'm sure we've seen these on movies and things like that where this happens. So something else we want to keep in mind there. All right. Most cave-ins, Kurt. Okay, I don't know if this. I don't remember seeing this as a question, but cave-ins can occur 5 to 15 feet deep. So usually it's got to be a little bit of digging before you have a cave-in. All right, that type of thing. Anything here? Lack of protective systems. All right, we're going to cover in a few minutes protective systems. Okay, so we'll know how to put a trench together. I think that is here. So I'm just going to jump forward 1 minute here. Yeah, there's a lot on this. Okay, so yeah, we're going to get into all this. This is going to be a couple page piece that we're going to be doing here. Just wanted to make sure that I was looking at this properly. All right, I can hide that. Okay, so here's where we were with the cave-ins. Now I am going to go to the next page. Okay. Factors that surround a trench or cave-in. All right, obviously changes in weather conditions. Okay, such as freezing and then thawing. Okay, sudden heavy rains. We go home on a Friday, we come back on a Monday, and it rained all weekend. Who's going into the trench first? Somebody answer that for me.
The competent person.
The competent person. Is he going into the trench? Maybe not, but he's going to be inspecting the trench to see if anyone else could be allowed to go in or not. So, yes, it would be the competent person. Now, here's another interesting one here. Say we're working all winter in a trench, okay? It was a cold winter, So when there's a cold winter, what happens to the ground? The ground is solid, correct? Because it's all frozen within the ground and things like that. Now we're working in the spring, and the ground starts to thaw out. So what happens when it starts to thaw out? The ground's going to loosen up a little bit. And when the ground loosens up, well, then we're going to have a situation. Things are going to be loose. We could have mud. We could have all kinds of things going on. So that's going to make a problem there. All right, how about this one? Excessive vibration. What would cause vibration around a trench area? Somebody give me that.
Like
a bulldozer or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a bulldozer, okay? If we're working on a job site, we got large dump trucks, large bulldozers, things like that, running back and forth around near the trench, right? It's causing vibration in the ground. So that vibration in the ground can cause the soil to shift, that type of thing. Did anybody watch The Good Doctor the other night?
No.
No? Okay. Well, they had it was really cool. It was a 2-part series, and there was an earthquake. Okay? So an earthquake is a vibration in the ground, is it not? And what happens a lot of times after an earthquake, they have what's called an aftershock, and the aftershock kind of just vibrates the ground around after the initial shock. So there's vibration and things like that going on. So we want to keep tabs on that. All right. There could be visible warning signs, okay, that we can spot. All right. Look for warning signs. Look for visible signs. Okay, the ground settled, small rocks falling, all kinds of things can be happening. All right, so we want to keep all that in mind. Here's our famous friend again, a competent person. He inspects the excavation daily and decides whether cave-ins or failures of protective systems could occur and whether there are any other hazards present. So this guy, he's got to get up and he's got to be on the job site before you. You start your job at 7:30 in the morning. Well, he's got to be there at some other time to inspect the trench or inspect the excavation to make sure that it is safe for everyone to get in here. Now, people, I am going to point this out to you. I'm not a geologist, all right? But you see this here? Types of soils, all right? I recommend that any time in this book that they point out types of soils, that you do your best to memorize what it is based on, to make notes what it is based on. Because there will be questions in this test, and there has been in the past, on possibly what is type C soil, or what is type B soil, okay, or what is type A soil. Those type of questions, yes, Mr. Hogan and I kind of disagree with those questions because you're high school students, but these are the questions that NCCER puts in this test. So I am telling you right now to make sure you do your best that you can to understand the types of soils. So we're going to go over this little block right here. All right, solid rock. Excavation walls stay vertical as long as the excavation is open. All right. Now, type A soil. It's a fine grained, cohesive. It's clay, hard pan, and cowlich, whatever, if I'm pronouncing it right. All right. The particles are too small to see with the naked eye. So there's a lot of little things in that soil that we can't even see. Therefore, the competent person would be a person to examine these. All right. All right. Type B is angular rock, silt, and similar. So there's a lot of rock and stuff in the type B soil. And type C soil is coarse grain, granular, sand, and gravel. Okay. With loamy sand. Okay. Particles are visible to the naked eye. Now, this is all I'm going to say right now. I'm trying to get you through this program. If we have time at another time, I'd be happy to go back. You all have your good friend with you today, do you not, Megan?
What?
Who's your good friend, Megan? Your good friend is Mr. Google. You can take any of these words that I'm giving you right here, people, and you can Google them, and you could come to learn and understand a little better what they are talking about here. All right? How about if we take one? Let's take one, okay? And we'll go to Mr. Google. I'm going to have to go out of here, okay, and go down to here. And I can go to here, and I can go loamy sand, okay? And there is the definition for loamy sand. Texture is relative proportion of the mineral compounds of soil. Sand, silt, clay. Okay, loamy soil contains equal amounts of mineral components, all right? Don't need to know this 100%, but understand these terms. Understand the different types of soils, A, B, and C. I am telling you right now, there will be questions in this test asking about types of soils. Do I make myself clear to all three of you?
Yes.
And hopefully the PSD guys will pick up on this as well. All right, they should know how to use Google. Take the advantage of Google. Do what you have to do, and be able to come up with some different definitions there. I'm going to go back to this. Okay, so that's important to understand that. All right, conducting inspection, competent person performance. Okay, what are they looking for? They're looking for cracks, spills, spalls on the sides of the open excavations, all right, existing utility or other ground structures. Okay, interesting point. We talked about FiOS. FiOS is coming and they're going to run lines, okay? Is there possible that there are gas lines, electrical lines, or other lines already in the ground? There are. I am not going to answer this because you've all been given this answer and you all have had this even outside of OSHA. How do we determine before we even dig our excavation if there are other utility lines in the ground? I want one of you three to answer that for me. And I'll wait here all day if I have to. You should all know the answer to this.
Yeah, can you repeat that?
How can you determine if there's other utility lines in the ground before you excavate?
Can you look for signs or something?
What is it?
Can you look for signs?
What kind of signs?
Signs indicating that there's other things there.
Okay. How the signs get there?
Someone who worked there previously put them there.
I doubt it. Somebody put them there, but not somebody that worked there.
The city.
The city? Come on, people. Where's Megan? I don't even hear Megan's voice.
Here.
What do you think?
Well,
I don't know.
Don't know. I guess I'm going to have to tell you, aren't I? And I really don't want to because this is very discouraging to me. All the time that I spent on OSHA and other safety features, okay, and no one can remember the 811 call system. Do we not remember this?
I do.
You do?
No, I do.
Now you do.
Yeah, I remember you telling us this.
Okay, now you remember, but you didn't remember.
No.
So if you didn't remember, and you're out there on an excavation, and you didn't remember, you could be dead right now, couldn't you, Sam?
Yeah.
Why? because you didn't remember to call 811.
Yeah, and if I run into a wire, I could get shot.
Yes, you could. What if you dug into a gas pipe and the gas pipe exploded? Heck with the shock, you're dead, man. You're all over the street now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay? This is important stuff, people. 811. All right. Malachi suggested that signs are put up. Yes. Spray paint or signs will be put up by the 811 people. Okay? There's a flag. What's that flag say?
Bury gas line.
Bury gas line, okay? Digging safely. All right, that's all we got. Is one picture. All right, that's okay. But there's a picture of a buried gas line. And again, I'm going to go back to here. Here you go. Do I really need to call? Seriously. Do I really need to call? Yeah. Who are you going to call? It's not the Ghostbusters. Okay? I'm only planting a small bush. Well, yeah, what? Let's make sure that it is in the right position, all right? Caution, gas line buried below, all right? What do we got here? I have a third contractor or landscaper doing the digging. Well, the third contractor or the landscaper is doing the digging. What should the contractor or the landscaper do? Call 811.
Yeah.
Okay? It's important. Now, one other thing, since I'm here, since I got taken off my path, see what this gives me. There you go. Look at that. Oh, man, I am impressed. All right? Look at this. I gave all of you a card, I believe, at one time. Did I not?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you don't have the card, I suggest you take a screenshot of what I have up here right now. Okay? That way I know if I have a gas line or if I have an electric line or if I have a water line or whatever I have there.
I got it. I took a picture.
All right? Now, sewers and drains is different than potable water. Does everybody understand what potable water is?
No.
Okay, anybody?
Is it water in dirt? Like something
Okay.
like that?
Look at this one, reclaimed water. What does reclaimed water mean? That means we're recycling the water, right?
Yeah.
It's such like a sprinkling in our irrigation system. Potable water
Two. Como huevo.
potable water is drinking water. Okay?
Mom, you laughing at saying I said.
Potable, Sam, turn your mic down. Potable water is drinking water, okay? Whereas recycled water, all right, is water that can be used in an irrigation system, something like that, like in a greenhouse or a farm or any of those type of things. Okay? And this is the one that would be of interest. We said that FiOS is going to come, and FiOS is going to lay FiOS cables in the ground. So when the guys come out and spray, they're going to spray the pink, okay? They're going to spray the reds, the yellows, the orange, the blues, and the purples, whatever is in the line of fire there where we're going to dig, okay? They are not going to spray the white. What's going to happen is once everything's marked where it is, then the representative for FiOS will come out, and he will decide, okay, well, I got electric over here and I got gas over here. Oh, look, there's a whole line there where there's nothing running. And then he might take and spray his white line there. Okay. Sam, you okay? So you can dig, so they can be digging away from all these pipes, okay? Now, here's the card. I believe I gave every one of you one of those cards. Did I not?
No, you didn't.
I didn't. Pretty sure I did, but if I didn't, and if you would like one, Megan, I have them at school in my OSHA box. Ask me when we get back to school, and I'll be happy to give you one. Okay, look at it. It looks like a business card. It's something you can keep in your wallet.
True.
Okay, you can keep it in your wallet. All right, so it's not a big deal. All right, so and we just learned something else today. We learned what potable water is. Potable water is drinking water. All right, and do I really need to call? Seriously, yeah. Okay, let's know where our lines are. All right, no matter what they are. All right, I still have. FiOS came along here about 2 years ago. I still have orange and yellow lines spray painted on my sidewalk. They do finally fade away, but it takes a long time for that to happen. The best way to do that is flags, okay? And let me see if we can do that.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
I'm drinking potable water right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for here? There you go. Look at this. I'd like to see that all over your lawn. Looks like an Easter parade, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what they would do. They would come and they would put these flags, okay, and hopefully the little kids don't come running along and take them out of the ground until the work is done. That's simple how it goes, all right? But there are the flags. They can spray paint the sidewalk. You probably seen guys out on the sidewalk, okay, spray painting different sections, all right? You see it all the time. If you've never seen a guy, well, then that's weird. But usually you will find a guy that's out on the sidewalk that will be spray painting where the lines are, spray painting sidewalk, even in the street. So let me get back to where we were. Okay, we got off the track there, but there's an important track to get off. Existing utility and other underground structures. Okay, we need to know where they are. Now the other thing is we could have a very large trench. Maybe we're going to put in like a 20-inch water drain. Not a main, but a water drain, a sewer system. Okay, so that needs a big trench. Okay, who's to say that where we're digging our trench, that electric lines or gas lines or something else are running in other directions across that trench? Whereas we have to be careful of these when we go into the trench. I should have brought up, and you know, maybe I will tomorrow, Friday, Monday. I'll bring up some of my photos from my OSHA classes that has some of this stuff in it. Okay, to kind of reinforce what I'm saying. All right. So moving on. Again, make sure you understand the types of soils, because if you do not know the types of soils, okay, and some of these degrees that we're about to learn, all right, it's going to hurt you on the test, because for some reason they like to put these questions in the test. Okay, a registered professional engineer, he must be the person designing the protective system for excavations deeper than 20 feet. Wow, that's a pretty deep trench if we're going deeper than 20 feet. All right. Two basic systems. All right. Sloping and benching are forms of trench protection that cut away and slant the excavation face. A sloping system is a method in which the sides of the excavation are cut back to the safe angle using relatively smooth inclines. Okay. And they're saying, look at figure 30. And here is figure 30 here. So when you're looking at all this, you're going to refer to the different figures so you understand how the trench is going to be dug, how the trench is going to be cut, that type of thing. One's sloping, okay, and the other is a benched trench, all right? Also, okay, the maximum allowable, the slopes, okay, and it gives you degrees and things like that, okay? try to remember these people, because again, the types of soils with different questions are put into this test. So type A soil is 3/4 to 1 inch or 53 degrees. Type B soil is 1 to 1 or 45 degrees. All right. It's weird stuff that I don't even understand 100% because I am not a geologist or a person who works in soils. Okay, so again, you have Mr. Google to your help. So go to Mr. Google if you have to and punch in information to help you understand. Either that or just memorize, because these things, trust me, they will be to some extent sometime in the test. All right, it's crazy stuff, but that's the way it is. All right. Take note that many times trenches are in narrow places. Okay, so sloping and benches aren't options. In these situations, support systems are required. Okay, shorting or shielding must be used. We're going to be looking at some pictures, so we will see the difference between shorting and shielding, and possibly using a trench box as we're going along here. All right, I know this is not exciting stuff, but it is what it is. Okay, so there's a couple guys working in a trench. That trench isn't too deep because they're actually above, their heads are above ground. Notice where the ladder is. The ladder is not at the end, then that ladder is in the center. Actually, this ladder is near where the guy's working right now. All right, this ladder over here is kind of near this one, more to a third in than half. All right, shoring. It's hard to see in this picture, but you see these pieces going across? They put slats on both sides of the wall, such as plywood. And then they take these bars and they put these bars across to keep the plywood from falling into the hole. And if you can notice, they did this all the way down the trench, so the trench won't collapse on them. This trench here, you see this big metal box? It almost looks like a dumpster, doesn't it? Well, could be like a dumpster, all right? But it's called a trench box. And a crane would lower the trench box into the ground, okay, and allow them to work around the trench box. Yeah, allow them to work and do what they have to do without keeping the soils from falling. All right. Notice the large pipe that they're putting into the ground. All right, so the trench box would be lowered. The guys would work. The guys would clear out the hole. Then they would have to supervise putting the pipe into the ground. Once the work is done and they're moving to the next spot, okay, they can simply lift that trench box out. You see the bars on this side. There's nothing on the other side of the trench box, so it can be lifted right out of the ground. Okay, spoil pile. Know what a spoil pile is? What does anybody here think a spoil pile is? Sam, what's a spoil pile?
A spoil pile? I don't really know. I never heard that.
Never heard of that. Anybody?
No.
Okay. Let me go to this picture right here. I'm at the trench box. Okay. So they had to dig a hole, right? We all agree they dug a hole?
Yeah.
Okay. So where did all the dirt go that they took out of the hole? It went right here to the spoil pile. Because what are they going to do with that dirt when they're done, Sam?
Put it back in.
Yeah, but it all won't go back in, will it?
No.
Because we've got this large pipe in here now. So all the soil is not going to go back in, but the spoil pile is going to, the spoil pile is just the accumulation of the dirt. Because the trench box is here, they didn't really need to control where the spoil pile was placed. Obviously, you don't want to put if you're using a shoring or something like that, you don't want to put the spoil pile too close, because if you do and you get some kind of a torrential rain or something, this is all just going to start to run down. And we don't want that to happen. Okay? So That is what a spoil pile is. And we're waiting for my thingy to change here, okay? Nice barrier around a hole, okay?
Yeah.
They're pointing out that the barriers are 2 feet away from the hole. So they're not right on the hole, so someone couldn't fall in. They're spaced 2 feet from the hole. All right, so someone would pass or something like that. Okay, there is still opportunity for them not to fall into the hole. Okay, access and egress. Egress means exit. Means the same thing as exit. But egress is a fancier word. All right. There has to be safe means of entry and exit for workers. Okay, such as a stairway or a ladder. Okay, there must be an exit. Now read this. Must be an exit every 25 feet for a trench over 4 feet deep. Well, let's back up. Okay, this trench is probably just about 4 feet or maybe a little more because the guys are above it. This one is definitely more above 4 feet, okay? Now, all I see is a trench right here, so the ladder's in the middle. I see a ladder here where the guys are working. Okay, if this trench was more than 4 feet deep, then they have to put a ladder every 25 feet. The ladder doesn't go on the end. Why doesn't the ladder go on the end, Malachi?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Come on, man. You're not sure of anything. You guys got to be thinking here. Take a guess.
You said why was it not on the end?
What is it?
You said why was it not on the end?
Yeah. If I put the ladder down here on the end, okay, and all these guys and this thing started to collapse, what's going to happen? Tell me about it.
He got
Where to get out?
They have to run to the end, don't they?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
probably won't be enough time.
And when they're running, well, you're right, Sam, they won't give enough time, but here's the other obstacle.
Oh yeah, I
See
know now.
See these bars going across?
Yeah.
They're going to have to duck. And if you're ducking, does that slow down your running capabilities?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You gotta watch where you step.
Well, you have to watch where you step too. Yes. So they want you to put a ladder every 25 feet. If it's a small trench, you put it in the center. Something like this trench box is done over here. All right. So I'm going to go back to the page I was on. All right. We talked about the barriers, things like that. All right. That type of thing. All right. We're still on the caught in, caught between, and we're going to go from trenching, which we just covered pretty extensively, to tool and machine guarding, which is another part of caught between. So what we're going to do, we'll take a rest right there on that. You guys and gals now have up to page, like I said, I think you have up to page 50. So feel free to go through the pages. Feel free to Google anything that you find in here so you can understand it better. This test is pretty deep. Okay, whereas when I give the ocean test, I can suggest or I can request changes to some of the questions. I have no control over this test. This test comes from NCCER. The way they word it, the information they put in it, it is what it is. This test is given to high school students, college students, and workers that have been in the field for 10, 20 years. So they do not recognize one caliber, a person over another, and they make it a heavy-duty test. So make sure you understand the soils. Make sure you understand what's going on with that. I know for a fact there will be questions in there. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to take it. We're going to leave it there for today. We're at page 37. All right. I'm going to go XX. I got a lot of X's to do. There I am. There's my meat there. Okay. I can stop presenting now. Okay. And I have three people up there. How come I can only see Sam? What happened to Megan and Malachi?
Yeah, the game off.
Happened?
They got the
There's
camera.
Megan. Okay, there's Megan. All right, she's got all her hair. Oh, look at that. She's got a purple dinosaur in the background. Cool. All right, my granddaughter would probably love that. She loves purple things. I don't know if she loves dinosaurs, but that's pretty cool. All right. So anyway, there we are. All right. Tomorrow, remember tomorrow. Let's see. What are we going to do tomorrow? Our class starts at 11:38. Yeah, we'll make it 1 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. And if it changes, what's that? And if it changes, I'll tell you during the class, because all three of you will be in the class. The PSD guys, they're going to be getting their own thing done by the interpreters. They're going to figure this all out for them, try to help them out. Okay, see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Right? Okay.